It's that time of year again where all the big gaming news is revealed at E3 and we get to see everything gaming related planned out for the rest of the year and more. There is a lot of anticipation for this event and people want to know what will be shown. So with that being said, here are my 5 predictions for E3 2019. Nintendo's conference is always exciting to watch because of all the exclusives they have, such as Pokemon and The Legend of Zelda. There's too many of them to actually talk about, but that's why we're going to discuss a game that has been out for a while now that people just can't get enough of. That game is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fans are eager for an announcement on the next upcoming DLC character to be added to the roster. We know that Challenger Pack 2 will be revealed, but the question is, who will it be? With Challenger Pack 1 being Joker from the Persona games, the possibilities for the next DLC characters are endless. Some of the more logical guesses of who could get added is Sora from the Kingdom Hearts series, Banjo and Kazooie from the Banjo and Kazooie games, or Shantae from the Shantae games. Now, my personal guess is a long shot, but I honestly think it could happen. With Microsoft and Nintendo partnering up more and more, it would make sense to have a Microsoft representative in Smash. Who would be better qualified than the legend himself, Master Chief from the Halo series? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If this were to actually happen, I would scream like a little fangirl because I absolutely love the Halo games. And I would get $10 from a friend of mine that I may have bet with. So I personally cannot wait to see if this happens and he gets added to Smash. Square Enix is notorious for having some amazing RPGs, such as Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, but unfortunately, a lot of these games take forever to actually release. For example, we just got the final installment to the Kingdom Hearts series back in January after a 12-year wait. Well, Final Fantasy fans are now waiting for a remake that has been wanted for a very long time. 4 years ago at E3 2015, it was revealed that a remake of the classic Final Fantasy VII was in the works. But besides a couple trailers showing development footage and a very small amount of gameplay, details have been scarce. Now, I can think of 2 things that could happen. The first being that the main spotlight will be on the Marvel Avengers game, which is another game that Square Enix has been tight-lipped on. I see this to be more likely since Square Enix has confirmed that the game will be shown in some way at this year's E3. The second thing that could happen is we get more details on Final Fantasy VII with a possible release date or a release window. My guess is that a release window will be announced for mid-2020. This is obviously optimistic thinking due to the fact that there's just not a whole lot of information around this title. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because I really want to play this game and I hope that we won't have a repeat of what happened to Final Fantasy 15. This next prediction is a fun one to think about because it involves a series that has some of the funnest stealth gameplay there is. Yes, I'm talking about another Assassin's Creed game. Actually, that's a complete lie because I'm really talking about Splinter Cell. It's been 6 years since the last Splinter Cell game released, and I, among many other people, feel like it's time for the series to make a comeback. I think we're going to get a reveal with a release window for spring of 2020, especially since Ubisoft likes releasing their games in the springtime. This is backed up by a recent tweet from Julian Girardi, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who is the creative director of The Division 2. After some time, a Ubisoft representative responded to IGN's questions about the tweet and stated that Julian was just joking and that they don't have any announcements to make.
Just yesterday, the creative director of The Division 2 tweeted that he was working on the next Splinter Cell. Ubisoft then tried to clarify. They told IGN he was just joking.
This could possibly just be Ubisoft trying to hype their fans up a little before E3. We also know that Ubisoft is planning to release 3 or 4 AAA games between April of 2019 and March of 2020. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I personally think between those 2 things that there's a good chance that we'll see Sam Fisher make his return, and when it happens, you best believe I'll be taking a lot of time off of work to play the new game. The Xbox One was announced 6 years ago at E3 2013 and was probably one of Microsoft's worst reveals ever. It's safe to say that Sony won the current gen console war due to Microsoft's screw-ups in the early days of the Xbox One. But can they make a comeback with their next generation console and learn from their previous mistakes? Well, we'll see at this year's E3 because I believe we will get a reveal of a new Xbox with a release date for the holiday season of 2020. Now, this prediction is based off of two things. The first being that Sony is completely skipping E3 this year and that they have revealed information about the PlayStation 5 already. There could be many reasons for them to be skipping E3, but I think they are preparing to officially reveal the next generation PlayStation at a later date at one of their own events. This leads into the second thing, which is Microsoft has a huge opening to steal E3 since Sony is not attending, Bethesda isn't revealing information about the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, and Ubisoft presumably not revealing anything worthwhile. I believe their only competition is Nintendo, but I'm interested in seeing how things play out between both of them due to them partnering up and working on different things together. In an interview with Major Nelson, Xbox head Phil Spencer stated that Xbox was going to go big at E3 this year due to them being the only platform holder doing a live show.
We're the platform holder that has a live stage show, and it's kind of just us this year. I feel the responsibility of that. I want to represent gaming. I think the whole team, we're taking the responsibility of being out there, representing gaming and wanting to do a good job of that.
It seems like Xbox has everything they need to make this E3 their best one yet, but we'll have to wait a little longer to see if they stay true to their word. After the massive success The Witcher 3 saw back in 2015, fans have been itching for CD Projekt Red's next game, Cyberpunk 2077. Now before we go any further, let's recap the history of this game real quick. The game was announced back in May of 2012, with a teaser following in January of 2013, and confirmation that the game would be available for PC. But besides those two things, the game went dark until it resurfaced at E3 2018, where a new trailer was released as well as confirmation that the game would also be on consoles. A pre-alpha gameplay demonstration was also released to the public in August of 2018. So that is everything we have about this game in a 7-year time span. Now, I remember seeing the original reveal for Cyberpunk 2077 back in 2012, and it didn't really interest me back then. But after seeing The Witcher 3 and how amazing it was, and Cyberpunk's E3 2018 trailer, it got me really excited about this game. Now, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that we will get a solid release date for the holiday season of 2019. This is really just based off of one thing, which is that back in December of 2016, CD Projekt Red was giving major funding from the Polish government to research new game techniques for Cyberpunk 2077. Now, with any sort of grant, there's always a deadline where the funded project must be completed. I'm assuming that after 2.5 years, the deadline is approaching, which means we should get a release date in the near future, whether it's at E3 or at another event. In all honesty, I'm not 100% sure what to expect from Cyberpunk, but with that being said, I really do hope that this game is everything that it claims to be, so I, among many other people, can enjoy it to its fullest. And there you have it, my top 5 predictions for this year's E3. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate all the help. And until next time, I will see you all later.